Welcome back to the Bracketologist podcast. I, of course, am your host, Ben Walnick. This show brought to you by Let It Fly Media. I'm here with Let It Fly Media's spring and summer intern, Noah Ball. Noah, how you doing?
Doing great. Finally back. I'm ready to get into it. It's a fun one.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about pizza toppings today, and Noah has about 3 years experience working in the pizza industry, so thought he would be the perfect one for this. We are going to break down, we have 32 pizza toppings ready to talk about. We are using a bracket created by Waldo Pizza, which is a local pizza shop just across the street from the Let It Fly Media offices, so shout out to the city of Waldo and Waldo Pizza. They had a 64-team bracket for the tournament that they created back in February into March. We have already gone through that first round to get it down to 32 for the purposes of this podcast. We'll mention a few of those play-in matchups, but you can find that bracket online, and I'll also post it on the Bracketologist Instagram. So we'll get down to what our 32 seeds are, and we'll start with our number one overall seed. And again, we did not make these seedings created by Waldo Pizza, but I think we can all agree with Pepperoni as the number one seed, going up against another meat, 32 seed chorizo. Noah, lead us off.
I think it's got to be pepperoni. There's
quick one.
there's really no question. Chorizo. When I hear chorizo, I hear taco. I hear more Mexican food. I hear just not pizza, not Italian food. And pepperoni, it's the godfather of all toppings.
I'm sure chorizo pizza is great, but you don't say, all right, who wants some pizza? All right, what do you want on it? You want pepperoni? Do you want chorizo? No one says chorizo, so and yeah.
From when you're a kid, your parents go pepperoni or cheese, and I think that's all you got to say.
Yeah, I mean, we know pepperoni's probably making a deep run in this tournament. It is the one seed for a reason, so easy there. All right, our 16 seed is mozzarella versus our 17 seed roasted garlic. I'll start on this one. I think it'll be a theme here that we're going to have several different options for different kinds of cheese. But I think we're really talking about toppings here. And I can always just throw some mozzarella that's in a packet or some extra Parmesan cheese on top of this. I love garlic. I love the flavor of garlic. Unfortunately, it's not great to kiss anyone after you've had a lot of garlic, but it really adds to a pizza. For me, it'd be roasted garlic.
I agree, because mozzarella, you have different cheeses, and when you're adding toppings on, I feel like if you get more creative, and if you ever have Asiago on your pizza, if you ever have Gorgonzola, which isn't even on this bracket, but Gorgonzola or Feta and Asiago, you experience way more than you do just staying with mozzarella. And roasted garlic, it adds a lot. And if you can handle it, as some people can't handle roasted garlic, you really experience flavor.
For me, mozzarella isn't a topping. It's the base of the pizza.
Correct.
Like, this is literally cooked in the oven. It's the tomato sauce, and then it's mozzarella, and then you melt this thing for the majority of pizzas.
Yep.
I think of mozzarella when I think of all Italian food, but I don't think of it as a pizza topping. Jalapeno bacon, our number 9 seed, versus our 24 seed shrimp. Again, a lot of these toppings will be a little bit specific to Waldo Pizza. We know not everybody has jalapeno bacon as an option.
Mm-hmm.
This could go either way for me. I like a little kick, and I like bacon, so I like jalapeno bacon. I love shrimp. I just don't necessarily ever really think about putting it on a pizza.
I agree. Shrimp goes on, I think, a lot of other types of food groups. Jalapeno bacon, they're honestly two separate toppings. This is just mashed into one, and they both go great together. It's like pizza pod, so I would have to go jalapeno bacon.
I think jalapeno and bacon could both separately make deep runs in this.
Exactly.
This is kind of like a superpower that's not really fair that these have been put together.
Agreed.
And I love shrimp. Don't get me wrong. A good shrimp scampi, I'm in. Just not pizza toppings. Not the first 25 things I think of.
Shrimp tacos,
Delicious.
Yep.
Okay, no disagreements yet. This is, I don't know how the bracket fell this way, but we have our 8 seed green peppers versus our 25 seed red peppers. Do you have any deep thoughts on these?
So I love both of these toppings, but I never put these toppings on together. I either go one or the other because I think they're different. They can be made different ways. And my argument here, I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going to pick red peppers over, for me personally right now, red peppers over green peppers, because red peppers, you can cook them with garlic. You can add more to them. And I feel like anytime I have green peppers, they're really just cut. They're just cut and put on the pizza. And really, the flavor, it's green pepper, but does it add a lot? I feel like I taste green pepper when I eat the pizza. Red peppers can be marinated in different ways, can be cooked with different things. I feel like it's more pizza than green pepper is.
I just don't have sophisticated enough taste buds for this one. There's not a huge difference between these peppers. I went to the University of Oklahoma, and their main color is a red. So we'll just go with red pepper, and I'll just agree with you on this one. I don't really want to fight you by arguing green pepper because I just don't see a huge difference. And there will be some foodies out there that are like, are you kidding me? The difference in flavor is so fine, but I don't see it. 4-seed black olives, which I know it's a common topping. I was a little surprised it was this high of a seed versus our 29-seed feta. I almost want to go with a huge upset on this one, but again, we're talking cheeses here, and there's just so many different cheese options. But I do feel like adding feta to the top of a pizza after it's out of the oven is an excellent addition, and I just don't get a lot out of black olives. I know a lot of people are like black olives until they die. Like if they're getting a veggie pizza or a supreme pizza, it has to have black olives. I'm just not one of those people.
Yeah, it's a weird matchup because there is a big majority of people that love black olives, and they will eat black olives whole and they'll eat them out of the jar. I'm not one of those people. Feta cheese I've experimented with, and it's great. Like you said, after the pizza's cooked, you add a little bit on top. It's a different flavor. There's a lot of great cheeses, and this one might feel deserving. This is going to make some people mad. There are a lot of black olive fans, but I personally would put feta over black olives.
I think this was a complete misseed, and I think black olives deserves, I know again it's common, but deserves to be a little bit more in the middle of the pack. And I think feta kind of got ripped off here that it's a 29 seed, which means in the original 64-person bracket, this was an 8 or 9 seed in its region. But there are not 28 toppings better than feta, in my opinion. So I think feta here, this is a huge, we just had two pretty big upsets, but I think it's deserving. Our podcast producer, Justin Kim, is in the building and may have some opinions. Are you a big black olives guy?
So for black olives, I would never eat them just alone on a pizza. Like a cheese pizza with black olives sounds disgusting, but when it's mixed in the combination of like a supreme, I think black olives are fine, but feta's just so good. Like it's so crumbly and just adds like
you just argue. The argument just happens. Like you would never have a pizza just with black olives, but I could do a pizza and just throw some feta on there and I'd be happy.
Yes, I agree.
You know, feta mixed with a bunch of different cheeses, maybe not so great. You put too much cheese and it just loses itself, but you could put feta on by itself.
All right, our next matchup is 13 seed, which, maybe only in Kansas City and Texas do you get burnt ends as a topping versus broccoli, and this is, I believe, roasted broccoli.
Yeah.
So this was one of the ones that we had that was a discussion as a play-in matchup. Broccoli originally was up against goat cheese. I'm a big goat cheese guy, but the argument here from Noah is that, you get a lot of options for cheeses. Maybe a feta is a better option, and then you really think broccoli can be done well.
I think broccoli is underrated. It gets, you don't like broccoli when you're younger. Most people don't, but once your taste buds expand and you get broccoli, you roast it, you get some nice sea salt on it, and it in a pizza, if you mix it with some ranch maybe as a dipping on top, or you mix it in with some bacon and chicken bacon, broccoli, ranch, that's the kind of pizza I go to when I'm tired of red sauce and I go more of a white sauce kind of pizza. Throw broccoli on a white sauce Alfredo pizza, and that it's something, it's up there against some of the best in my opinion. So against burnt ends, where it's not super common, when I think of burnt ends, I want barbecue, and maybe you're doing a barbecue pizza and you could have that argument, but broccoli, in my opinion, it adds way more than burnt ends. What else would you put burnt ends with?
Yeah, it's a very specific pizza. Like maybe your barbecue chicken pizza, you just sub out the chicken for burnt ends, or you add in some burnt ends there. I don't know. I agree. One of the things we haven't really talked about yet, and I feel like you want from a topping, is you want a little bit of versatility. You want something that can be on a pizza that's got different sauce or different cheese. And I definitely think you get that with broccoli. And like you said, if you do a good roasting and you get a little bit of a salt on there, a little bit of a seasoning on that broccoli, I think it can go a long way. And also, it's nice sometimes to just get a little bit of crunch with your pizza.
Yeah.
So if you have a roasted broccoli versus, with a burnt end, maybe you can get that a little bit, but it just doesn't. I know it's popular here, but it doesn't really just hit me as a pizza topping.
A different argument to have with toppings, though, in general, is some toppings are oddly big. And I don't know about you if you've ever had a pizza, you're trying to manage all the toppings, and you don't want to overload it because you have too much, it's going to become soggy. And how big the toppings are will change how much you're going to put on it, or if you can even eat that topping in one bite. Yeah. Broccoli is one of those where sometimes you can have it being a little bit too big of a piece, and that can be hard to manage on a pizza. It's another way to look at things as we go forward, picking our selections.
I've watched enough Great British Bake Off to know that you don't want a soggy bottom on what you're baking or cooking. We're going to put broccoli in there. So we've had a decent amount of upsets pretty early on in this tournament. This next one is it's a tough one. 12-seed avocado versus 21-seed basil. I don't know.
Do you feel strong about any of these two? Which one jumps out?
I mean, I really like a good basil on like a margarita pizza. I think that's delicious, and margarita is a staple. Whereas avocado is a luxury that you can throw on a pizza and is good. But once again, just doesn't feel like a pizza topping as much as basil, and basil just feels like one of those staples on a margarita pizza, which is one of probably the top 5 types of pizzas out there.
I will throw basil almost underneath any pizza that I make. Like, it goes well with red sauce and white sauce, and you throw a little bit of garlic and basil on that with some red sauce and maybe some other type of like red peppers or pepperoni. You got yourself a good, and tomato, which is a weird omit on this list. No tomatoes.
We had a Roma tomato, but in the opening round, but a roasted garlic beat that out.
Yeah. So, I think basil, like a margarita pizza, I think it takes over avocado. And to avocado's credit, it goes great with a lot of things. Pizza doesn't come to my mind when I think of.
I will eat an avocado by itself. I love avocado.
Yeah.
I love a good guacamole. But basil is more of a pizza topping.
Agreed.
And by the way, I am feeling the pizza expertise oozing out of you on this. The descriptions you're giving are just perfect. The insight, I love it. Our 5-seed Italian sausage versus our 28-seed pepperoncinis. I do like a little bit of kick. I like pepperoncinis. I like throwing it on a sandwich when I go somewhere. It's good on a pizza. But Italian sausage.
So between these two, what would be the glory, in my opinion, would be having spicy Italian sausage, which is a thing as well, because you get the best of both worlds. But in a battle between these two, Italian sausage is too common. I think just by majority, it is the standout. It is the one that's always going to be there. It's a hard one. I think it's going to make a run in this bracket.
Yeah. Well, and I think, look, Italian sausage, I think of it and I think it's spicy. So like, I'd like to think that even as we move this on, it's you don't have to say this isn't spicy Italian sausage. It just is.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a good amount of upsets. In fact, the only all we had were 3 of our top 10 seeds survived on the left side of the bracket. Let's jump over to the right side. Our number 2 seed, mushrooms, which I get people like mushrooms. I, again, was shocked it was this high of a seed versus our 31 seed herb roasted potatoes. I mean, I do think mushrooms advances here because I don't think of herb roasted potatoes as a pizza topping. Anything you'd like to say about roasted potatoes before we send it off? We can talk more about mushrooms as we advance.
I have really no thoughts on roasted potatoes except the fact that it's on the list, and I've never had it on my pizza.
Fair enough. Okay, so our next matchup is the battle of some more sausages. We have our 15-seed pork sausage versus our 18-seed porcini sausage. Tell me what you know about these 2 different types of sausages.
Pork sausage, if I'm not wrong, is a bit sweeter than Italian. And between porcini is more spicy, right? It's a battle of taste because they're essentially almost the same thing. I don't know if I would...
Look, I'm always more of a spice guy if I can get it. So for me, I'd go porcini. Again, there's not going to be much separator here, and because we have Italian sausage already in this bracket, and we're probably not going to have either of these advance against mushrooms, I don't think we need to spend too much time. I like porcini here.
Agreed.
We are not fighting on much yet.
Not yet, but these are going to be some interesting matchups.
Okay, 10-seed pineapple, 23-seed red onion. So you've got the staple of a Hawaiian pizza and something that is sweet versus something that can enhance the flavor with a red onion.
Yeah.
I feel like our pizza expert here is probably going to tell me how important red onion is.
So, yes. This is a battle internally for me because I'm going to stick to what the paper says, but between pineapple and red onion, I think I have to give the red onion. Now, there's a big debate on pineapple. Is it a pizza? Does it belong on pizza? Does it not? I'm one that I do think it does on a good Hawaiian pizza with Canadian bacon and everything else. But I don't know if you've ever had roasted pineapple. Again, which isn't, I'm going to stick to just being regular pineapple because there's a distinction. But roasted pineapple on a barbecue pizza with onion, I mean, these things kind of go well together.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you want. But red onion, I think it is kind of like the basil argument where it can fit with a lot of different things. It can go on barbecue. It can go on white sauce. It can go on red sauce. It enhances the ingredients around it. And I think the battle would go to red onion.
This kind of feels like pineapple's more of like a Russell Westbrook, where it's kind of off on its own and it's not really lifting up its teammates. It's just like it becomes the overpowering thing on the pizza.
Yeah.
Whereas a red onion is more of LeBron James type or Chris Paul type, where it's making everyone better. It's always enhancing whatever ingredients it's with.
Yep.
And I don't hate Russell Westbrook, but I just would rather play with somebody that's enhancing everyone around.
Yeah, pass the ball.
That's
We'll
right.
never fail to incorporate sports, no matter what we're talking about.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter.
Never. All right, so our 23 seed upsets are 10 seed pineapple there. 7 seed Canadian bacon versus our 26 seed smoked turkey.
I think this is a blowout.
This is a blowout for Canadian bacon, right?
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to smoked turkey, but you're great on a sandwich. I don't really need you on a pizza.
Smoked turkey barely got in the tournament. They won their conference, championship, and they snuck through and then just got killed.
We do have to mention on this one that Canadian bacon beat Arugula in the first round. And it was a horrible seeding for Arugula because I think that's an excellent addition to a pizza, and it was one of the 4 worst seeds in the bracket. Also, Red Onion beat Asiago, which also got a horrible seeding there because Asiago would be great, but it just didn't beat Red Onion.
Asiago could beat Feta. It could beat a lot, but in this bracket, it didn't. So
it was unfortunate seeding by Waldo Pizza. Number 3 seed Hamburger versus a 30 seed Spinach. Could this be the biggest upset that we have? Because look, if I have a choice between hamburger and Italian sausage, every single time I'm choosing, or really any kind of sausage, hamburger meat, I don't get a hamburger and I just get hamburger and a bun. Maybe even just a hamburger and cheese. Like, I need toppings on there. Hamburger to me is bland unless you put some sort of additional spice in it. Whereas spinach, and don't get me wrong, there's not like spinach has a lot of flavor, but at least adds some texture. I feel like maybe I'm eating something a little bit healthier. You can do a little bit more with this, whether it's on a margarita or maybe it's a pizza that doesn't have much sauce and it's got spinach and spinach, arugula, you throw in some feta. Those types of pizzas really interest me. For me, I'm never looking at a menu and being like, I need hamburger on this. Maybe it's on that Supreme pizza, but I don't care about it being on my pizza.
Maybe a taco pizza or something more specific. Hamburger is very common. I think it's one of those meats where kids specifically will go, I'll add that because I know I like it. But in reality, I think spinach, the more your taste buds develop, you can have it on a white sauce. You can have it with garlic and red sauce. Like spinach, it's a battle between vegetable and meat, and it's going to be different per preference, but spinach, I think, might beat hamburger. I kind of agree with that take.
Okay, we might need our podcast producer, Justin, to jump in on this. Can you convince us not to have a 30 seed beat a 3 seed?
No, because I'm a huge spinach fan.
Let's go!
You think about the first time, you have pizza, it's probably with meat. I don't want to offend any non-meat eaters out there. But then when your mom finally introduces you, like, hey, try this one that only has vegetable, you're like, what the heck is this? And it's white sauce with what? It's spinach. And you try it and you're like, this is vegetable? This is pretty dang good for vegetable-only pizza. And so spinach just is...
At some point,
it's iconic.
Well, at some point, we need some toppings advancing here that are actually, like healthy, not jalapeno bacon and Canadian bacon. We need some spinach in here.
Yeah.
Also, if you have any of the vegans out there that have hate mail, you can find Justin on Instagram and Twitter. All right, our 14 seed jalapeno versus our 19 seed salami. We did have a debate. It was meatballs versus salami going into this. And it was kind of a similar argument. Meatballs can be bland unless they have the right spice, whereas salami kind of has a little bit more of a natural flavor. So I took the other side on that one. Noah took salami. Let him have that win. I don't think salami beats jalapeno, though. I love a kick.
No, I agree. Salami is kind of at the lower tier of the meats, and jalapeno adds way more. There's not really much of an argument. I don't see here.
Perfect. 11 seed roasted chicken versus 22 seed artichoke. This is a tough matchup. I love an artichoke heart on a pizza. Artichoke heart is one of the most underrated flavors just in general.
Yep.
When we had our dips podcast, we talked intensely about spinach artichoke dip. Shout out to spinach that we just had advance.
Yep.
I love artichoke, but if you get the right roasted chicken pizza with the right toppings with it, it's fantastic too. I'm torn. What do you got?
So I'm going to go back to the size of the toppings here and think specifically on how does it add to the pizza. Artichokes, if you haven't had them, go eat them because artichokes are great on a pizza. Up against roasted chicken or grilled chicken, roasted chicken specifically, it's that meat that you can cut up. You can make it small on your pizza. It can add a little bit. It's not one of these hamburgers or salamis where they're kind of just there to add more. I think chicken deserves a place on its pizza, as some of these toppings are more of an addition or an afterthought of, I'll try that. Chicken, it can go on barbecue, it can go on white sauce, and it can go on red sauce. And I think that says something. Now, artichoke, it has its own place. This is tough, but I would give it to roasted chicken just on the all-encompassing aspect of chicken. Artichokes can be kind of big, adds a lot of maybe of extra, I don't want to say grease, but they are kind of watery, water-based. They add a lot to the pizza in terms of size. I would put roasted chicken ahead of artichoke.
So let's also go with roasted chicken. I think that's a really close matchup, but I love roasted chicken on a good pizza.
Yeah.
Plus, we need some, honestly, we don't have enough protein. We don't have enough meat advancing on this between meats and chickens. So I think that's one that needs to advance there so we can kind of balance this bracket out. And that'll help in the next one, too. Our 6-seed bacon versus our 27-seed cheddar. We've got way better cheeses you can add to a pizza than cheddar. Bacon advances.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're into our Sweet 16. I'm going to briefly recap where we're at. We have our 1-seed pepperoni versus our 17-seed garlic, 9-seed jalapeno bacon versus our 25-seed red peppers, our 29-seed feta versus our 20-seed broccoli, our 21-seed basil versus our 5-seed Italian sausage. Then on the other side, 2-seed mushrooms versus 18-seed porcini sausage, 23-seed red onion versus 7-seed Canadian bacon, 30-seed spinach against our 14-seed jalapeno, and 11-seed roasted chicken versus our 6-seed bacon. So we have already lost our 3 and our 4-seed as we go into the Sweet 16. Some monumental upsets.
A lot of upsets first round, for sure.
Okay. Time for the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
Pepperoni versus roasted garlic. This is actually a lot closer than I thought pepperoni would have in the second round.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I mean, it's like the 1-seed. It's like that Nova in 2017. It's like, Duke in 2012 when, with Anthony Davis and that squad. It's the powerhouse. It's the overall probably majority favorite, that everyone's picking. I don't know against roasted garlic. I'm torn, and I want to hear what you have.
I love garlic. I love roasted garlic. I'll add garlic to anything. Garlic can protect me from vampires, and I appreciate that. But I just don't see how you have pepperoni not advance past at least the second round. I mean, look, we just said it earlier. When you're selecting a pizza, the first topping you see is pepperoni, and you're always saying, hey, is everyone cool with a pepperoni pizza and a cheese pizza? Or maybe it's a sausage pizza and a cheese pizza. Like, no one is ever, just thinking, I just want roasted garlic.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about things that can carry a pizza by itself, then I think you have to select pepperoni.
Pepperoni in size as well. Roasted garlic can, for some people, mess them up internally. Digestion, that's
true.
a real thing.
That is.
And so I think it's pepperoni in my book.
I want to apologize to my father who may be listening to this, and because he's a big garlic guy, and he taught me the way of garlic.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. But I think pepperoni has to advance.
Greedy vampire, big garlic guy.
No, he's got to stay away from it. He's not a vampire.
I know.
Paul, you're not a vampire. Okay. 9-seed jalapeno bacon versus 25-seed red peppers. Okay, so red peppers, obviously a staple. Jalapeno bacon is not really like a common ingredient. This is more of like a Waldo pizza thing. It is fantastic, though, and I have had it. So if you, again, are talking about if I can only have one topping on the pizza, I'm not going to just have a red pepper pizza. I will have a jalapeno bacon pizza. It's tough because red pepper is one of the best second toppings on a pizza.
Sure. Yeah, you're never gonna have it by itself.
It's a Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, most great pizzas they can stand alone with one topping, or most great toppings per se can stand out on their own. But I have to go. I feel red peppers here just because jalapeno bacon. Man, it's so specific, and on pizza places, with like legit high-end pizza with like great red pepper on there, it's a tough one to battle flavor because you're going to automatically have more flavor with jalapeno bacon. I don't want to argue it against this bracket itself because you have bacon and you don't have jalapeno on its own. So, you do have jalapeno on its own, but you have jalapeno and bacon on their own.
Yeah.
So I would go red pepper. Again, you roast it. I don't want to repeat why red pepper is great, but there's a little bit more variety there than I think the average person thinks. And if you're a meat person, if you want more spice, you can do sweet hot red peppers. That's a thing too. There's different kinds of red peppers. I don't know if we're just going to argue based on its own or, marinated with garlic and basil a little bit. You can mix it with that. So I don't...
This is what I'll say is if someone's like, okay, give me your 3 meats that you would put on a pizza. You're like, okay, I put sausage, I'd put pepperoni, and I put bacon.
Yeah.
And then if you had like 3 veggies, peppers or red peppers and like mushrooms are probably in the first sentence of the first 2 or 3 toppings you would think of. Jalapeno bacon, like you said, too specific. I love bacon. I love jalapeno. We're talking about both those later in this round, but I think you move on red peppers here because it's more of a staple pizza topping.
It is, and it can go on white sauce, can go on red sauce. It's a staple. They're not too big. I think they fit well with pizza. They add a lot.
It's versatile.
It's versatile, but you have to make decisions, and I think red peppers shows up in the Sweet 16.
It can play great defense. It can score if you need it to.
Yep.
And it can be the wingman, just like you, Scottie Pippen. Okay, our 29-seed feta versus our 20-seed broccoli. This is tough because we argued fiercely for both of these in the first round, but one's got to go. I think my argument on this one would be that I think feta should advance because I think it is out of everything on our list, it is the best cheese to add to a pizza after a pizza is cooked. Whereas broccoli is a very good veggie to add, but it's not one of the first 2 or 3 that I think of. And it can be great, but it's just not one of the ones on the top of my mind.
Yeah, broccoli is like the MVP, like 1 year MVP that you kind of forget about that was MVP. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's kind of like Lamar Jackson. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
If you dropped Dirk Nowitzki's name right there, then Justin and I both would beat you.
So
wait a second here. Where is he going with this
one?
I
think broccoli. You made a good argument with our list and cheese, and then with broccoli. I think broccoli's biggest deterrent is its size sometimes, because it can make the pizza kind of floppy. I don't know if you're having thin crust or thick crust, but I love good thin crust, and on thin crust you can't have too much. Yeah. Broccoli, it's an MVP 1 year. I think that's the analogy, but feta is kind of all around. Maybe is the great 6th man, and so. Yeah. I'm going to take more consistency with feta on more variety compared to our list. But I would argue that Asiago is better than feta. But Asiago got shorthanded on this bracket.
Rip Asiago. So, okay, let's go basil versus Italian sausage. This is our 21 seed versus our 5 seed. I think we both had great arguments, and we love basil, and it is a staple you can put it underneath a lot of pizzas, and it can be on a margarita, but come on, Italian sausage.
I mean, basil is a good addition once it's cooked.
Yes.
It's Italian sausage, though.
It's Italian sausage.
Okay, wait. No, I'm totally kidding.
Okay, 2-seed mushroom versus porcini sausage. Let's rip through that as well.
Mushroom?
Yeah, mushroom. It's a staple. Porcini sausage, a little too specific. We just talked about a sausage that is continuing to advance and will continue to make a deep run. All right, 23-seed red onion versus 7-seed Canadian bacon. Controversial for me here, but I think I will upset Canadian bacon because I think it is too specific.
Wow.
What do you
think?
Really?
Too specific. What is
I don't think I think of Canadian bacon on a Hawaiian pizza. I never think to get Canadian bacon on another pizza.
That's where you've been missing out. If you add Canadian bacon on to white sauce, or you add it on just with like more of a meat pizza, a ranch, Canadian bacon goes well with some spinach. It goes well with some broccoli. But these are some toppings that, broccoli just fell. I can see the argument with it being a little too specific versus red onion as a staple.
If you feel Canadian bacon, fight for it.
So what kind of red onion are we talking about? Are we talking? Is it in the circles, or are we going chopped?
I go chopped on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it were circular, I'd have an issue because those are hard to eat on a pizza.
Yeah, I think it's got to be chopped.
You're telling me if you see a pizza with just red onion on it versus a pizza with Canadian bacon on it,
no.
You're picking the red onion?
Okay. All right, Justin. I
true.
got you. I got you.
Justin.
Now, look, we have to have some toppings on here that aren't the superstar, all right? You got to have some supplementary
That's
ones.
fair, which is why I think our next matchup.
Okay, so we've got spinach versus jalapeno. That is our 30 seed versus our 14 seed. By the way, Canadian bacon advanced in that last one.
Spinach jalapeno.
This is tough. I love something with a kick. We don't really have much left on here that is like adding some spice. I think spinach versus hamburger was pretty easy because spinach is more versatile and it's definitely more healthy and hamburger's bland. But for me, I love adding a jalapeno pepperoni for me is great.
Yep. Jalapeno with afterwards you add some buffalo sauce, like just some mild buffalo or even some sriracha.
Now you're going on to our dips podcast where I fought for buffalo and lost. But yeah.
Well, pizza, no one. I mean, I've had a great experience with dips after on pizza, like a little bit of a barbecue swirl, or even like like I said, like a buffalo swirl or a sriracha swirl.
Yeah.
With jalapeno, you're getting into some dangerous territory. Jalapeno
Sriracha swirl sounds nuts.
That sounds good. All right, what do you got? Spinach or jalapeno here?
Jalapeno.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry, Justin. All right, 11 seed. Producer, shut that mic off. Okay, 11 seed roasted chicken versus 6 seed bacon. Okay, so
it's tough.
It's bacon for me. I like roasted chicken. I love bacon more.
This is when bacon's versatility comes into play because it can be the star or it can sit back a night and be the second topping or the third topping and add to.
It could be like a bacon red pepper pizza, and I would enjoy that a lot. It could be bacon and maybe some feta, and that'd be great. But then also it could be where pepperoni is the main star. I've got some mushroom, and let's throw some bacon on there for a little added kick.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
Roasted chicken, it has way more protein than a bacon would. It is more the star that night. It's the argument of roasted chicken wants to be the show. He's kind of like Russell Westbrook right here, because like that's going to be the show. You're not putting roasted chicken on to be the second edition, or even like that's like either you're going roasted chicken or you're going somewhere else.
But I want to win. I want to win.
Exactly.
I don't need to see a show. I want to win, and bacon is going to take me.
Yeah, agreed. Bacon is
maybe to this championship. Dun dun dun. Not really. Probably not. All right, we are now into our Elite 8. Mark this in the podcast. Pepperoni, our 1 seed, versus 25 seed red peppers. 29 seed feta versus our 5 seed Italian sausage.
Dang.
Our 2 seed mushroom versus our 7 seed Canadian bacon. And our 14 seed jalapeno versus our 6 seed bacon. It's a really interesting Elite 8.
It is. You got a lot of meat on this list. I mean, that's expected.
It's 4 and 4.
Yeah.
It's with a nice even split.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Pepperoni versus red peppers. The goat has to advance. Come on.
It's pepperoni. Red pepper, you've done well. You've made a long run. You're the Cinderella almost in a way.
It was a great run. We use Butler a lot on here on making a run. Although they have made the championship game, so maybe we can find a different team that. Maybe this is Davidson, and it was carried there by Steph Curry, but couldn't quite make it past KU.
Exactly. There we go. KU is the pepperoni.
Oh, no.
I love that.
No, wait.
Whoa.
Wait.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Wait a second.
Rewind. Let's re-record that. Okay. Pepperoni advances. 29 seed feta versus 5 seed Italian sausage. I hate to continue going with meat here. This is tough. My gut reaction was Italian sausage has to advance, but I do love feta. Are you fighting for feta here, or do you think it's Italian sausage?
So Italian sausage, I think getting this far, there'd be a strong competitor, and I think I'd have something bump it. But feta being the one against them, I think is the hindrance. And so it's kind of expected to put Italian sausage above feta or to even go this far because I'm not a huge even fan of Italian sausage. But up against feta, man, the more I think about it, the more I like question myself, is Italian sausage really better? And then I go, I'm like, the popular vote, the standard that it is on meat, it is Italian, with pizza. So like it fits.
Yeah, part of me thinks that we love feta. Feta's great, but I gotta just kind of rope in we're looking here at the 29 seed. Maybe we're not normal.
Yeah.
And people like feta, but maybe just don't think of it as a pizza topping as much as we do. It is a little... We've made it out to be very versatile, but it is a little bit more specific to, it makes much more sense on a pizza that's got more veggies, maybe some spinach or some arugula or something like that. I don't really think of adding feta to a red sauce pizza with mozzarella cheese and pepperoni, and then let's throw feta on that. That doesn't happen very often.
I would prefer even Asiago over feta, and just so that I'm thinking of something else that didn't even get this far on the bracket.
I think we go Italian sausage.
We have to, yeah.
And that sets up an insane matchup in the Final Four. Okay, mushroom, our 2 seed versus 7 seed Canadian bacon.
We
can't have 4 meats in the Final Four, can we?
It's tough. I think it's interesting, and my experience with mushrooms, I'm not a huge mushroom eater. I see things that Canadian bacon beat, and up against mushroom, I would probably argue against mushroom, and then here comes Canadian bacon.
All right, give me your argument for Canadian bacon then. I'm going to argue on this one, so let's go.
Canadian bacon, great with pineapple, great with red sauce and even white sauce.
Pineapple's trash. White sauce is trash. Next.
No. Disagree. Canadian bacon versus mushroom, though. Against mushroom.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd ever see these two toppings on the same pizza.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe?
Okay, my argument for mushroom would be that it's a healthier option, and people do meat replacement with mushroom when they're making meals all the time. And you can have mushroom carry a pizza if you would like, instead of getting pizza. And we do have a lot of vegetarians that enjoy pizza. I enjoy, and a lot of the time when you order a pizza, you'll order something that is vegetarian safe when you're having a party. And if you can order a pizza that has mushroom as its lead ingredient and then add some other stuff with it, it's still a very good pizza that even if there's other meat options left, I'm going to grab a slice of that because it's delicious.
Yeah, you make a great point on its versatility with up against Canadian bacon. I just love Canadian bacon. I think it's just a personal preference. I know I'm not experienced with mushrooms and it's not on my palate, but it is very popular. It goes great with a vegan pizza, vegetarian pizza, margarita, if you want to add on to it with that. I see why mushroom would take the cake here. I do.
But you would choose Canadian bacon.
I think I would.
Yeah. Well, you're the intern and I'm overruling you. So mushrooms.
That's how it goes.
It's the first time that I'll put you in your place. But I think mushroom is used a lot more. It's, I think, a little bit more versatile because it can go with meats or it can go just with veggies.
Yeah.
It can carry a pizza. I think overall it's just a better topping.
What sporting event would mushroom versus Canadian bacon remind you of? Like matchup? Doesn't have to be college basketball, but it's a close buzzer beater, right?
Honestly, it might be like a tennis matchup versus like a power hitter versus like a more skilled. So it's like maybe it's like Djokovic versus Federer, and mushroom is a little bit more of I can do a little bit more volleys. I can play a little bit at the net. I can put a lot more spin on the ball. Whereas Canadian bacon is just coming at you with power.
Kind of like Floyd Mayweather, dodging more.
Yeah.
I see a boxing matchup here.
I like it. Okay, so now we've got 14 seed jalapeno versus our 6 seed bacon. I don't really know how to pick between these two because they are so different.
They're brothers, kind of on this.
Yeah, well, they're brothers that are opposites.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, look, we had a team in the Sweet 16 here that was a combination of these two ingredients.
Exactly.
They pair really well together. I don't really know which direction I would lean. Maybe jalapeno because you can literally almost throw it in with everything just to give it a little kick. But I think in that way you're kind of arguing against it because you're saying it really doesn't bring that much flavor. It just brings kick.
Yeah. bacon is great. It can be the star.
Bacon is good for me.
If I'm going the healthy route, which I don't know the healthiness of jalapenos. I mean, it's spicy, but bacon is not the greatest thing to, if you're trying to have a casual pizza without a lot of calories on it. Bacon adds a lot.
It does.
Jalapenos has kick, and it might be more specialized to people. Like if I think of a broader audience, a broader pizza, if you're at a party and you ordered pizza for the group and jalapenos on one, that's going to segregate a lot of people because of the spiciness factor. Some people can't handle it.
Some people are weak.
Yeah. I mean, you could make the same argument though with people with bacon because they don't like meat.
It's true.
So you've got they have their own attributes. I don't think bacon is the superior meat. It is definitely a close 3, but it is bacon. Like, come on, it's bacon.
This might be the toughest matchup we've had so far.
Yeah.
I say that a lot throughout all of the Bracketologist episodes about this is the most difficult matchup, but I really don't know.
I mean,
okay, let's go back to our argument of if you just had a pizza and are you just putting, like, literally you have a cheese pizza with just jalapenos or you have a cheese pizza just with bacon. Which one of those would you choose?
Bacon.
All right, it's bacon. I think
are we going to make the decision just based off that, though?
I think it's a little bit it's a tiebreaker for me.
But think about this. You've never had a pizza with just jalapeno, probably. You've never had a pizza with just bacon. So in the pizzas that you do like where both those, are included, like a supreme pizza with jalapeno or a meat lovers with bacon, does bacon add more to meat lovers than jalapeno does?
No, that's an interesting argument.
Yeah,
because they're both like supplementary.
I feel like then you've got 3 or 4 ingredients that all complement each other, and then here comes jalapeno that adds your kick on top of that. Whereas bacon is just kind of there adding to this meat pizza.
Yeah.
But it's not really overpowering anything. You
that
get
could
a little
be a different
crunch
way
every
to
now
look,
and then.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
So,
that could be a different way to look at it because it feels like both of these are like secondary ingredients almost.
You add them with each other. That's what makes them so great.
Yeah.
Honestly. And so going up against each other.
So maybe we just bring both of these in together, and here's jalapeno bacon making its comeback.
It was, yeah.
You know what? I'll flip it. Let's go jalapeno just because I think as a complementary player, it comes in and it can help a pizza that needed just a little bit more of a kick, even though it's not really a specific flavor. It's a topping.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our top 4. This is our 1-seed pepperoni versus our 5-seed Italian sausage. No real surprises there. Our 2-seed mushroom versus our 14-seed jalapeno. So by far the worst seed left in the bracket. We've been talking for about 40 minutes now. Let's get through this quickly. So pepperoni versus Italian sausage, the goats, even though neither of these are goat meat, the goats of meat on pizzas. How does Italian sausage beat the perennial champion pepperoni in this matchup?
It has a chance because of it. Because you put these meats on together, right? But pepperoni, it does have a specific flavor to it that I don't think Italian sausage has. And now, depending on your Italian sausage, it might be a little bit more spicy. So the argument I was going to make is that some pepperoni, they have a small kick. Italian sausage, it goes better, I think, on white sauce than pepperoni does on white sauce because Italian sausage, it fits on red, it fits on white. I don't think pepperoni really fits on white unless you're a madman or madwoman. What are you doing? But pepperoni,
unless you're a psychopath.
When you hear red sauce, you think of pepperoni probably because it's red by association.
Yep.
Italian sausage has your margarita more. It can go great with basil and tomato, but you're gonna make a big argument for Italian sausage, and then you're always just gonna look up who it's against, and then it's pepperoni.
Okay, so you would go pepperoni.
I think I would.
Okay, here is my argument for Italian sausage. If you're talking about the shape of the topping, I find it an annoyance when I'm eating a pepperoni pizza that sometimes when you're biting into it, it's a little bit too loose on the pizza and it just peels right off and you get the whole patty of pepperoni off. And then now you have less of your pizza. The next bite is just a cheese pizza, basically.
Yeah.
Whereas Italian sausage, there's more of them. they're smaller, and so they're little bite-sized ones where it's almost every single bite of your pizza is going to have that topping. And sometimes when you pull that pepperoni off the pizza, that pepperoni gets stuck on one of those slices that's in there, and you're like, well, do I just go pick that off the pizza? But, COVID times, you probably can't do that.
So when I'm cooking pizza, I hate when I'm doing in a brick oven and I'm trying to spin them. And one thing no one has thought about yet that we haven't brought up until just now is, will it fall off the pizza? How when it's being made, what's the likelihood of this topping falling off, not even making it? I've seen so many pizzas. Like, these people are trying to add so many toppings on. Can I get this? Can I get this?
And you're just thinking to yourself, this is not going to work.
Well, like, you're adding broccoli. Now, if you have a lot of toppings on with Italian sausage, they're circular. And so they're going to roll. They're going to roll all over the place. So when I think of what's going to stay on my pizza better, I think of pepperoni as flat. It's covering the surface area. It gets better melted into the cheese. It's practically ingrained with the cheese.
So you're talking more of in the process of making the pizza, where I'm arguing more when I'm eating my pizza that I might miss out on the topping.
This is what you get in the final four. You have to think about all aspects of the pizza making process and eating process. I agree with your points about Italian sausage. It's great. I mean, Again, it goes better on white sauce. So maybe I can be flipped here. I can be flipped here either way on this decision. It's pepperoni. It's the go. It's gonna come down to the wire here. And
okay, I'm gonna lean on your pizza expertise, because it did remind me of, sometimes you're just looking in that pizza box and you've just got some Italian sausages that are just kind of rolled off in the corner of the box. They're just lonely and they're cold. And
yep, exactly.
You don't want to eat that Italian
sausage anymore. They don't even look
anymore.
edible at that point.
No, you're just like, I'm good. Pepperoni, our 1 seed, moves on.
Yeah.
2 seed mushrooms versus 14 seed jalapeno. I know you didn't even really want mushrooms in here, so tell me why jalapeno is a better topping than a mushroom.
I don't know which one wins here. I'm being genuinely honest. So I'm going to make an argument for both. Mushroom is kind of, I want to go by popular vote. Probably it is up there with pepperoni, just by popular vote, not by argument, maybe not by statistics.
It was an overall number 1 seed. Pepperoni was a 1 seed. Mushroom was a 1 seed. Hamburger and black olives both got eliminated early, but they were 1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, popularity, it's up there. Look, I think personally, I would pick jalapeno because I like the kick.
Yeah.
The argument against it is that probably more people will be fine with mushrooms on a pizza because they don't like the spice. But again, I don't know if I want to advance someone in the championship because people would be fine with that topping being in there. Now, my wife, Katie, huge mushroom person. Like, she will cook full meals where we don't have meat and we're just replacing it and we're just using mushrooms. And they're really, really good. Portobello mushroom is a delicious mushroom. I like that there's different varieties of mushrooms. You get different flavors there. Jalapeno, not really changing that very much.
Yeah.
I like the idea of mushroom advancing because it is a healthier option. Not that jalapeno is unhealthy, but it's basically, it can be the lead dog.
Yeah.
And it can also be a supplementary or complementary player. I think it's more versatile. It can serve many purposes with the pizza, whereas jalapeno, like we said earlier, it's never going to be the lead dog. It's never going to carry a pizza. It's always just going to kind of help.
So with mushroom, though, do you get a lot of extra flavor? It
depends on the mushroom, honestly. Yes, I think a portobello mushroom adds a lot of flavor.
Yeah, I see mushroom. I don't think it's visually appealing to my pizza.
You don't like the texture, do you?
No, neither. It's kind of rubbery.
It is.
Jalapeno. I love seeing that green. I love seeing just now a bad jalapeno. Like super too spicy, it'll ruin the entire pizza. So we gotta, it could ruin your pizza too much. Jalapenos, you have to have just the right amount.
See, I don't know if a mushroom can ruin a pizza. So that's like, there's the thing. Like, all right, now I don't want to ruin my pizza.
Now you can take both of these off pretty easily. They don't have the pepperoni effect.
Now we're talking about picking off the topping. I'm not advancing some of the championship if you're saying, oh, we'll just pick it off.
Kind of goes against its quality.
Okay, let's say this. We're going into our championship matchup from this. Again, this is our semifinal matchup of mushroom versus jalapeno. Does either one of these stand a chance against pepperoni?
I would say, so mushroom is kind of like the favorite. This is one of those scenarios where jalapeno could like do a miracle upset. I think against pepperoni. I think mushroom would beat jalapeno, but jalapeno has a better chance of beating pepperoni than mushroom has against beating pepperoni.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to choose based off future matchups. That's kind of like unfair to mushroom, you know?
Yeah.
But it'd be way more fun to see. This is like the high-powered offenses going up against each other, pepperoni and jalapeno.
Yeah.
And then you've got like the great run-stopping defense, you know, mushroom.
This is like, honestly, this is like the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference for so many years, where our championship match was the Western Conference Finals. It was pepperoni versus Italian sausage.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference is playing to go play the 2001 Lakers and have Kobe and Shaq just stomp on them. Like, here come the Philadelphia 76ers. There's your mushrooms. They're so different. One's adding kick, one is adding protein and can be more complementary. I'm going to go with jalapeno just because it would probably be my pick because I like kick.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people that are like, what are you doing? I don't like spicy food. But for me, it's jalapeno.
Jalapeno is my pick as well. It's a topping. You're thinking, I don't know.
So these two go great together. I love a pepperoni jalapeno pizza, our championship match. This doesn't have to be a long conversation. We're now almost an hour deep. We've had some great arguments. This isn't an argument.
Nope. It's the 2012 Kentucky basketball team in a nutshell. It's the Yankees for how many years?
Let's see how many sports analogies we can throw in on this. Pepperoni is the secretariat of horse racing. It just powered through all of these matchups, and it ended up winning this championship match by 32 lengths.
Yeah. You see the team, and they were kind of like what team? Like the 2020 Kansas Jayhawks in basketball. The overall majority favorite and just was going to win, and Pepperoni got a shot instead. It's replacement. You alluded to Pepperoni being Kansas early on, so that was kind of your fault.
Are you bleeping out anytime he says Kansas Jayhawk?
button ready.
Okay, this
We
was
do
a
it
lot of
post.
fun. You know, I brought on a pizza expert hoping that, we'd get a better result than Pepperoni winning the bracket, but, whatever. No, it's...
A different bracket's a different story. Waldo Pizza is a fine bracket, but there were some omissions that could have changed the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were definitely some missed seedings that we probably would have changed. Just briefly looking at it, there were a few other that we starred that we didn't talk about. Ricotta, great cheese, and it was like up against Italian sausage in the first round, which was just completely unfair. It deserved better than that. And we talked about Asiago also not being a great seed. And there's just some weird ones on here, like dill pickle chips. Never thinking about having that on a pizza. So,
honorable mention goes to, again, I'm going to say it one last time, is Asiago cheese.
Yep, it's good stuff.
It would have beat Feta. It could have been a Final Four, but alas, it didn't.
Woo! I don't know about Final Four, but yeah, it's good. All right, Noah, it was awesome. Thanks
Pleasure.
for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, until next time.